Hello, this is D and I'm back with another video. Well, on my last video, I showcased the Xbox Series S running Gears 5 at 120 frames per second, and I also talked about the leak that happened at Microsoft. Now, I was under the initial impression that the leak was actually a controlled one from Microsoft, and the evidence points to it not being an intentional leak. Now, I can really see why Microsoft is upset about this leak, as I now have access to an Xbox virtual press briefing, which was to reveal the Xbox Series S and of course the prices for both the X and S consoles. Now, Microsoft had a pretty good briefing here that was supposed to go out to the press. We even have Phil Spencer coming in and talking about the services. We also have a host of other services that were to launch in this briefing, such as Game Pass and EA Access coming together. Microsoft has confirmed that several materials on the new Series S and Series X was to go out to the media, and they canceled it after the leak occurred. Now, the video that I'm about to show you guys today, the 2020 news briefing that was to unveil the Xbox Series S and give us the launch date and the prices of these next generation consoles, they canceled it, but I do believe it deserves to be shown. I think Xbox fans need to see this video, so I have it here in its entirety. Now, it runs about 30 minutes long, and after it's done, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the presentation. Let me know your thoughts on the leak, and enjoy this presentation.
Hi everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cindy Walker. I lead product marketing for Project Scarlet. Today I'm going to be joined by Phil Spencer, our head of Xbox, Liz Hamrin, head of platform engineering and hardware, and Sarah Bond, who's head of our Xbox partnerships and ecosystem. We're going to start with Phil. Welcome, Phil.
Thanks, Cindy. It's great to be here.
As we've worked together over the past few years on a lot of big projects, E3 and trying to get some of our big events off the ground, we've had the opportunity to kind of watch the Xbox story arc really start from, what I would clearly define as a long-term strategic vision, play the games that you want with the people that you want on the devices that you want. And lately, as we've referred to it as our Xbox vision, it definitely doesn't feel like it's a vision. It definitely is starting to feel like it's becoming our actual reality.
Yeah, absolutely. This feels like a year, as you say, where the vision that we've worked on for so long, you see it in real products. And that's an exciting time. That journey from vision to reality isn't always a direct path. We're taking feedback, we're learning, we're listening. But it's been nice over the years to be able to set that vision as a team and see so many proof points of that vision. 5 years ago, we sat down and we said, what role should Microsoft play in the gaming business? As Xbox, what can we do? We centered on this idea, as you know, of putting the player at the center of the decisions and really trying to think about the friction that gets created in some of the traditions of the gaming business, and can we break some of those, really freeing up the player to, as you say, play the games that they want with the people they want on the devices that they want to play. For us to deliver on that vision, we knew there were 4 real important areas for us to go and invest. One of those was obviously content. People want great games. We've made an incredible investment in Xbox Game Studios over the years, and it's really great to see the output that those studios have today. Our partnership with the Microsoft Cloud, allowing us to deliver great games to so many people in so many places. We're starting that this year with the launch of xCloud, which will really bring gaming to more people. And then as we looked at gamers and how they build their library, we thought there was an interesting opportunity for us to bring something else to market in Game Pass. And we're having incredible success with Game Pass right now, not just from the millions and millions of subscribers, people playing so many different games, but also creators who now see this as a great avenue to build new games, new genres, new franchises, and get access to all of these millions of players who will go and try games. And we're long on Game Pass. It's a huge part of what we're doing at Xbox. But obviously for us, the console is the foundation of what we're going to go do. We thought it was really important in the Scarlet generation that we had a real vision for what we wanted to do with our next generation consoles, and it's exciting to be here today to get to talk about it.
Well, and as we kind of talked about earlier, this vision started years ago, so we were able actually to use some of our Generation 8 hardware to learn and test areas that we wanted to get better at or wanted to really inform our Project Scarlet generation. Tell us a little bit about some of those decisions.
Yeah, I sometimes get asked about, this year where people are seeing the work that we've put in over the years come together, and was it always the plan? And I chuckle a bit. It was always a plan. Though, as we said, sometimes that plan has learnings and some changes. But if you think back to Generation 8, which is what we call the Xbox One generation, when we started on this vision, we knew that we had an opportunity with Xbox One to test some of our assumptions. Could we ship multiple Xbox Ones that have different performance profiles but are able to play all of the games that were launched on Xbox One? Could we bring your previous generations of games to Xbox One through our backward compatibility program? And when we do that, can we actually use the power of the console to deliver the best version of those games? The team has done incredible work there. It's just great to see how many of your best games today are running on Xbox One X. And these were really important learnings for us. The ability to deliver Xbox One X in the low profile that it has, just small console, very quiet, and delivering true 4K gaming for people. Another important thing as we rolled into Generation 9, which for us is Project Scarlet. And I get asked sometimes about the code names and people trying to decipher what our code names mean. For us, Project Scarlet was the name of the generation, because we knew we were going to be doing multiple things in Generation 9 in Project Scarlet. We knew we were going to deliver more than one console to the home, which is what we're here to talk about today. But we also knew we were going to be delivering blades into our Azure data centers, versions of an Xbox that fit into a data center, allowing people to stream games from the cloud to so many different locations. We also have our development kit, which I say is kind of the unsung hero of the generation, because that's the thing that developers are using right now to go build the next generation of games that everybody wants to go play. So for us, Project Scarlet was the code name. And there were some real investments that we wanted to make, that we wanted to go across all of Project Scarlet. Our work with AMD on the SoC to really beef up not only the GPU, which we've made tremendous advancements in, but also the CPU, so that today when you see incredible looking games, and they'll continue to get better, now we're starting to feel games that they feel as good as they look, with things like 120 frames per second, variable refresh rate, giving developers real tools to tune the latency in the experience. People are going to play games on Scarlet that are going to feel like no other game that they've ever played on console. We're also building a consistent development kit across the console. So as a developer, I can build one version of my games and I get access to the full Project Scarlet kind of install base of players, and it really unlocks a lot of potential for the developers. For console players, I'm confident our next generation of hardware will be the best way to play all of your games this year and in the years ahead. The only next generation consoles backed by an ecosystem that gives you access to more games when and where you want to play them. The only next generation consoles with next gen performance, speed, and compatibility, accessible to everyone. And as people know, accessibility has been a really important thing for us. And price matters in accessible. Price, form factor, all of these things were critical. So we've already talked about Xbox Series X, but people have been asking about Lockhart for a long time. It's kind of the worst kept secret in our portfolio. But to be here today and to get to talk about Lockhart, the smallest console we've ever built, frankly, and still has all of the same compatibility and design goals that we set about from the beginning of Project Scarlet. And I can't wait for everybody to get to experience what this is about. So let's take a look at the Xbox Series S.
Yeah, I'm on one. Went from broke to having everything I wish, huh? We ain't slowing up, this a life speed. A lot of y'all ran out of gas trying to catch me. Dang, it's a new thing, man, it's a new dream. Can't nobody stop me, fate kinda obscene. Man, I'm trying to plant a money tree in the concrete. Yeah, this a do it till I die kind of vibe. I don't see myself, I just do it for the tribe. I can't see me ever giving up, it's alive. Make the whole world come alive, yeah, yeah. Get ready for the new thing, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Get ready for the new thing, let me hear you. Get ready for the brand new thing.
Liz, it's finally here. We've finally revealed the Xbox Series S. And I know that I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And despite all the rumors and kind of information that's been rolling around on this particular console for quite some time, I still think that the most striking thing about it is when you see it in its actual form for the first time and how small it is.
It is. It is our smallest Xbox ever. It's so light, it's just over 4 pounds, and it's 11 by 6 inches. It's incredibly quiet. You can store it vertically or horizontally, but don't let the small size fool you. There is incredible next-gen performance in this small package.
When I first saw both the tiny form factor of Xbox Series S alongside our most powerful console ever with Xbox Series X, I couldn't help but be struck at how they looked like they were definitely part of the same family, but maybe not, siblings. We know we built the Xbox Series X to house the most powerful console of the next generation. How should we think about the design intent behind the Xbox Series S?
Well, we built Xbox Series S to deliver all the core features of next-gen gaming. So that's higher frame rates, faster load times, and richer, more dynamic worlds. And so, but what we saw in prior generations was that cost was really preventing some gamers from joining early in the generation. And when we looked at trends in silicon and hardware costs in this generation, we saw that we weren't going to see the kinds of decreasing costs that we saw in prior generations. And that led us to realize that we could deliver a fully next-gen, more accessible console at the beginning of a generation. And when we were building this, we also realized that a number of our customers cared more about frame rate than they did about resolution. So we realized we didn't have to require a 4K TV for this console. We also learned that a number of players, especially new players, expect their games to come with them across all of their devices. And so we made the Xbox Series S all digital. And by making it all digital, that was one of the things that allowed us to get to this smallest, sleekest Xbox ever.
Well, we know that because these two consoles are coming out at the same point in the generation, they're going to share a lot of the same features, and they actually share a system architecture. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what that system architecture has enabled and how that's come to light?
Absolutely. We got together with our partners at AMD, and we decided that we were going to co-engineer a second custom SoC based on the Series X architecture, so including both Zen 2 and RDNA 2 technologies. The result of that is that you see very similar CPU performance across Series S and Series X, and you see identical I/O performance. Really, the only difference that you're going to see is in the GPU. And the Series X was designed to run native 4K at up to 120 frames a second, while the Series S was designed to run at 1440p, also at up to 120 frames a second. Now, if you happen to connect your Series S to a 4K TV, you'll be able to take advantage of our advanced hardware scaler and see improved resolution. Now, no matter what TV or setup you have, we want to make sure you have the most immersive experience possible. So we're including Dolby Vision at launch with these consoles, and you'll see that on our streaming apps with our partners like Netflix, Vudu, and Disney+. And Dolby Vision will be coming to games in spring of 2021, and Xbox will be the first console to support Dolby Vision for games. Now, you'll see the same great sound on Xbox Series S that you see on Series X with our spatial sound and Dolby Atmos.
You talked about immersion, which is very important as we think about gaming experiences. It's also important as we think about just the way that the consoles are designed, how much sound they actually emit on acoustics, the size and shape of them, where they fit into your household. Tell us a little bit about the thought and design that went into the actual industrial design of the console.
Well, we design our consoles to fit into your life and lifestyle. So we really focus on materials and finishes because we know that your Xbox is going to live on your shelf for years. We also want to make sure it fits into your household. So that's why we make sure that all of our consoles can be oriented vertically or horizontally. And as you point out, it's not just the physical design, it's also things like acoustics. So our engineering and industrial design teams spend a huge amount of effort making sure these consoles are as quiet as possible. But really, all of these design decisions together bring the focus back to what's most important, which is the games.
And all of that care and thought that went into the console design, that extends to the controller too.
It does. So we announced our new controller with the Series X, and that same controller is going to launch in Robot White with the Series S. And what we really focused on in this, with these new controllers, is to make sure that they were comfortable for more players. So we focused on fit and ergonomics and feel. And I can tell you from using this new controller at home, these small changes make a huge difference in how comfortable the controller is, especially when playing for long periods of time. Now, we've also added a share button, so you can share your game highlights to wherever you'd like. And that share button also works with the Xbox app on your mobile phone.
Okay, so far we've talked about its amazingly small size, we've talked about its tech features, and we've talked a lot about product design and intent. How do we think about comparing the performance on a technical side, maybe even audience perspective, between the Xbox Series S and the Xbox One X?
Well, the short answer is that the Xbox Series S has 4 times the processing power of the Xbox One X and pretty similar graphics. Now, you have to keep in mind that we have a new graphics architecture and new graphics capabilities in this generation, so it's really hard to compare specs like teraflops across generations. Now, it's also worth noting that these two consoles were really built for different kinds of audiences. So the Xbox One X was designed to be the most powerful console ever built and the first to deliver true 4K gaming. With the Series S, we're trying to bring next generation gaming to more people at the beginning of the generation with a lower price.
It is great that we have a lot of options for different folks. We believe that the next generation consoles are going to deliver transformative gaming experiences, and now we have a couple of options for them between the Series S and the Series X. But in the end, the time to upgrade is really up to the player. And if you're playing on your Xbox One X and you're happy there, we're happy you're there, and we're ready for you whenever you're ready to upgrade. Okay, next question. The Series S has a 512 gigabyte custom SSD. How did the team land on that storage size for a digital-only SKU?
Well, when we move to SSD technology, we get much, much higher performance. But of course, that higher performance comes at a higher cost. And more storage is always better. So we were trying to balance the storage drive size as well as cost, and we landed on 512. Now, the Series S also supports the Seagate storage expansion card. In addition, you can always connect your USB 3.1 drive for additional storage. And we've been working on a number of software features to help you more seamlessly manage your game library between the cloud and your console.
Well, so far we've covered a lot of great details on the Xbox Series S. Now let's have Jason Ronald take us through what it means for game developers and gamers. We've already announced quite a few titles that are coming optimized for Xbox Series X at holiday. That means that they're going to have those faster load times, those higher frame rates, and those richer, more dynamic worlds, because they were built from the ground up to take full advantage of this new architecture from these new consoles. All the games that are coming optimized for Xbox Series X will also be optimized for Xbox Series S. But maybe the best part about the optimized catalog is that it's just a fraction of the number of games that our Xbox gamers are going to be able to play on these new devices come this holiday.
I love being able to say that we're going to have thousands of games at launch. Now, in the last generation, we pioneered backwards compatibility, and we're bringing that forward to unlock the largest launch library ever across 4 generations of content, all the way back to the original Xbox. And our goal is really to unlock content across devices and generations. And for that, we invested in smart delivery. And with smart delivery, you buy a game once, and then we deliver the best version of that game to whatever console you're playing on. So if I'm playing a game on an Xbox One, and then I decide to upgrade to a Series S or a Series X, everything comes with me. My game history, my saves, my achievements, and the best version of the game is automatically delivered to my console.
Thanks so much, Liz. I know that I, for one, am thrilled that all of our console cards are out on the table and we're able to move forward toward launch, telling our full and complete story for the next generation of gaming with Xbox. So this must be a massive moment for you and the team.
We've spent years envisioning and working on the next generation of gaming, and it's finally here. And it is so exciting that the most powerful console ever built will be out this holiday with the Xbox Series X. And I love that we're being able to bring next generation gaming to more people with the Series S.
So far, we've talked about the long-term vision for Xbox gaming and the role of console within that vision. We've also introduced the Xbox Series S, which will bring next-gen performance in our smallest Xbox ever at a more affordable price this holiday. Now let's welcome Sarah Bond, our head of partnerships and ecosystem, to talk about what our partners think about the path that Xbox is on and what it means for their games and fans. Welcome, Sarah.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi. I think it was just about a year ago that you and I were talking to a lot of our content partners about what the next generation of gaming with Xbox was going to be like, and about Project Scarlet consoles in particular. And they were very interested to hear about our console plans, but they were also very curious and very interested in talking more about Xbox Game Pass. They were excited about what it had done for their games so far and really interested to see what more it could do. And then they were particularly interested to hear more about how we were planning on bringing gaming to more people by combining Xbox Game Pass with the cloud.
Yeah, those are always my favorite things to do, and to meet our content partners and talk to them about our plans. And you're totally right. They were super excited to hear about the console and everything we're doing with Xbox Series X and S, but they're always particularly interested in Game Pass because it's just such an amazing innovation and how we're making it possible for it to be played across the console, PC, and really anywhere with the cloud. You know, it's always been about giving our members just the freedom to discover and try new games and creating whole new levels of opportunity and success for our partners on our platform. And over the course of the last 3 years since we launched Game Pass, the participation from our partners has just broadened and deepened every step of the way. We've actually quadrupled the number of partners that are participating in the program, and over 90% of the top partners on Xbox are actually part of Game Pass. Like amazing brands like Take-Two, Bethesda, Capcom, Square Enix, Paradox, and Bungie have all signed up. We also already have over 20 titles, Gen 9 optimized titles, committed to come into Xbox Game Pass as we move into the next generation, and that number is growing all of the time. And as always, our Xbox Game Studios titles launch into Game Pass day one. Over 90% of people say that they tried a game and played it that they never otherwise would have because of Game Pass.
Well, the expansion about catalog is super important, but also expansion of devices. And it was about E3 2019, not that long ago again, about a year ago, that you were on stage talking about the Xbox Game Pass for PC beta starting.
It's been incredible the last year on PC. We've really listened to feedback from our players and from our developers and continued to iterate and improve what we're doing there. And we continue to add new PC titles like Flight Simulator, which is awesome, and Wasteland 3. And I'm excited to share that on September 17th, the service is actually going to be exiting beta. We're incredibly proud of how far we've come here. Really, when we talk about PC, it's all about our commitment to continue to make it possible for people to be able to play any way they want, which is why we recently announced that on September 15th, we're actually going to make it possible for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to play over 100 games on their Android devices across 22 markets.
Amazing. It really has been an incredible amount of progress on the program in a pretty short amount of time. And I'm kind of speaking from the console gamer perspective on this. It really does add an incredible amount of flexibility in what our Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can actually do with their content. Even if you really want to start with your console and playing at home, you can easily move that same game that's part of your subscription over to your mobile device, or vice versa. You can start on your mobile and then come back home and pick up right where you left off. You can even turn games that are technically not couch co-op games that actually would have normally required you to have more than one console in the same house, and turn those experiences into almost like a couch moment with whoever you're playing with on their own subscription as well. It really does enable that idea of the games you want with the people that you want on the device that you want, because it actually allows you to take your game library with you, whether you're playing on console, PC, or your Android mobile device.
Yeah, it's fun to think of all the possibilities that it opens up, right? And it's this commitment to putting the customer at the center, which is a big part of why I just love Xbox. And right now, with so many people at home and when social interaction is harder, Xbox Game Pass is really making it possible for people to connect and share. And friends, on the same plan, basically have a shared library of games so that you can just jump in and play and just experience something instantly. So just our ongoing commitment to human connection, which is always something I love about Team Xbox, is even more precious now.
So we started with Xbox Game Pass on console, that expanded to PC, and now we've moved from PC to cloud. But really we know that in the end, games are what matters the most, and content catalog is what really draws new people to the service. And we just had our Xbox Games Showcase in July, and we showed a ton of games, dozens of games that are all coming to the service in the near future. But of course, our fans and members are always asking for more.
Yes, always asking for more, and there is so much more to come. In fact, there's one partner that really shares our vision on subscription, and we're excited to share that we are teaming up with them today to do something really, really revolutionary for our members. Let's take a look.
here we go. EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass for console and PC.
Yeah, this is just the best news I have to share today. EA Play is a new brand bringing together EA Access on console and Origin Access on PC. And coming soon, all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members and all PC Game Pass members are going to get to play EA Play at no additional cost. Really what we're doing here is we're just bringing the very best of EA to Game Pass. More than 60 games with amazing franchises like FIFA, Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefield, and Sims. In-game challenges and rewards, and special members-only content, as well as discounts on DLC, games, and more. Plus the ability to play exclusive titles. Not only will EA games be available on console and PC, but also some of the best of EA Play is also going to be playable on Android devices.
It's just an incredible amount of new content coming to the service, and I'm personally looking forward to the fact that it'll all be available for our new console players to play this holiday.
Yes, that is honestly so exciting for our console players. It's going to be available this holiday, and new members can join at any time for $1. It really just doesn't get any better.
It is definitely a great time to be a Game Pass member. We've now added more value than ever to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play. We've got Xbox Game Pass for PC exiting beta around the same time that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members in 22 countries can play over 100 games on their mobile Android devices at no additional cost. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah.
Thank you. It's been great.
Today, we've talked a lot about how we want to enable gamers to play in more ways. And now I'd like to share how we're expanding our Xbox All Access program, which will enable gamers to join in more ways. Xbox All Access gives customers everything they need in one transaction to jump into gaming with Xbox. Their console of choice and 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, all with no upfront costs and a low monthly price. Last year, we piloted Xbox All Access in 3 countries with 4 partners, a blend of traditional gaming retailers and a mobile operator, to see how this membership model combining hardware and services could help more consumers get into gaming easier than ever. We learned that this program not only helped new people join our community, but also helped existing Xbox members get into the console of their choice. And today, we're announcing the expansion of this program to 17 partners in 12 countries, just in time for Xbox Series X and S to launch this holiday. That means that more fans can get into the next generation of gaming with a new Xbox, either a Series S or X, and 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which includes 100+ titles and now includes EA Play for a low monthly payment.
There's something you need to see.
Now's the fun part!
Whoa.
Here we go!
It is my pleasure to announce that both Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S will be launching globally on November the 10th. And at $299, Xbox Series S is the most affordable way to get into next-generation gaming. And with Xbox All Access, fans can join Xbox and get gaming for as little as $24.99 a month. Pre-orders start on September 22nd in retailers worldwide. Now, before I go, here's a quick recap of everything we've covered today. Xbox Series S joins Xbox Series X as our suite of options for next-generation console gaming, delivering on Gen 9 speed and performance, launching November the 10th, 2020. Thousands of games from 4 generations of Xbox will work and play best on these consoles, including dozens of games optimized to take full advantage of next-gen performance ready at launch. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC membership continues to get better with the addition of EA Play, coming this holiday at no additional cost. And the easiest way to get into the next generation of gaming with Xbox is with Xbox All Access. Get your console of choice, plus more than 100 games with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for no upfront costs and a low monthly price. Thank you all for joining us today, and as we embark on the future of gaming at Xbox.